Hello everyone, this is Alvin. Welcome back to Are You Okay podcast, a podcast where we use our voices and hopefully to inspire you to use yours too. In today's episode, we have a very special guest. He's a multi-talented artist and also with an infectious smile. Welcome, Airliftz.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you so much for having me here.
How are you today though? It's a long day.
Today has been a long day. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming still.
Oh, likewise. Thank you for having me here. Appreciate it.
Okay, when I first heard of you, I don't know whether you remember or not, but when I first met you, it was in one of Zamira's listening party.
No way.
Yeah.
That was like years back? Or?
Years back. Like, I think it was like 2014 or 15 or 16. I don't remember.
Okay, it was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. That's where I noticed you. And also, like, you also hang out a lot with Alicia Amin.
Me?
No.
I mean, I'm mostly at Thursdays, but
Okay, that's cool. Because I always see her,
Yeah.
I mean, see you on her stories.
oh wow, that's
So-
surprising.
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So like just a little bit of context, like when I hear about you, I think you are a very inspiring person.
Thank you.
As an artist, as a human being yourself.
Thank you.
And also like I kind of like read through some of your interviews before. Like
Yeah.
you started writing music when you were like 13.
Yeah.
And you released your first song on SoundCloud when you were like
Oh yeah,
17, right?
Yeah, I did.
What was the song called? Shine?
Oh my god, we're going back there. Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
You know, like
But yeah, it was Shine. Yeah.
yeah, just to let the audience know a little
Yeah.
bit of your backstory and stuff. So like what makes you wanted to start writing music, and how did you discover yourself that you can rap?
Oh wow, like that goes way back when I was like 13. I was just with my best friend. His name's Khalif. So embarrassing story. We would do like all these rap covers and post it up on YouTube. Until one day he's like, "Yo, man, instead of doing this, why don't you write your own music?" I'm like, "Alright, that's actually a good idea." I mean, it was a challenge because like I was 13, right? What do you know about making music? So the reason why I started making music was just it was just that at first, just like me and the boys, we just trying to have fun. But then after a while, like I feel like I need a purpose to do this. So like I need a platform. I need to express my feelings. I realized when I was just having fun writing music, I spent a lot of time pouring my heart out too.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh wow, this is powerful. Like this makes me happy. So yeah, I see music as a place now for me to just express whatever I feel, put myself out there, because I know like there are people out there who share the same story as me. So like man, that's how I started. That's why I started.
Like usually when you write something or when you want to write something,
Yeah.
do you already have something you want to write, then only you start to write music? Or just like, one day you just feel like you want to write something without any context first, and then only you think about what to write?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a fun process. It's not like let's plan to do like plan A, plan B, plan C. It's just more of like just get into the vibe, because like as a musician yourself too, I feel like it's best when it's not planned. It's best when you're just like, you know what, let's just do whatever that feels right then in that moment itself. So I don't plan. Whenever I write music or how I write music, it's just based off like whatever I feel that day or that moment itself. Then boom, I'll just get into it. Sometimes it might take some days. Sometimes it might just take like an hour. Sometimes just take 5 minutes, depending on how my mood is or how like inspired I was at that moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of new, like in terms of writing music myself. I only started writing my own music since end of last year.
Yeah.
And how I usually do it is whenever I have like some heartbreaking stories, or like I was undergoing something in my personal life, and then I will have to find like a producer or like someone who has experience in songwriting.
Yeah.
Sat down with them. How I started is like usually I'll like ask them for drinks first, just to like ease up the mood and
I
get
get
into
you, I
it.
get you.
And then we talk about the stories that I want to write about, and then like putting the context and start picking the sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like if you want me to like just write
Right.
just like that, I'm not on that level yet. But
Understand.
I'm really salute to your spirits and how talented you are. Like hopefully one day I can be like you.
We're the same, man. But I do have a question though, since like you said you're pretty new into it, right?
Yeah.
Like how was it, trying to work with producers, trying to explain whatever you feeling to the producers? Like, was it an easy process for
But it
you?
depends what kind of producers that I'm working with
Okay.
at that moment. So
Okay.
like nowadays I don't work with well-known producers anymore.
Yeah.
Because like most of the well-known producers, they already have like something imprinted, like what they want you to sing.
Oh, for
Or
sure.
like how they think you should write your music.
Okay.
And then I rather work with like new producers, like they are more open-minded.
Oh, yeah.
And they are more willing to accept what I'm trying to convey.
Understand.
Instead of just like one-sided. Like some producers would just feel like, I've been doing this for years. I produce like so many like hit tracks that you should just listen to me. I'm like, bro, it's the song that I want to release. It's the song that I want to write about. Like I'm gonna sing the song for the rest of my life. So nowadays, like I don't want to fight with them. Like I respect them as who they are, but I want to work with people who are willing to work together
Well, I respect that.
instead of just like one-sided kind of thing.
Understand. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So and also lately I just want to congratulate you on your collaboration with Colgate.
Oh, thank
So
you.
on the Smile Strong campaign.
Thank you.
Like I think this campaign is really suitable with your backstory, and also like you have a very nice smile.
Thank you.
And when you first heard of the collaboration, or when they first approached you, what was your first thought that came into your mind?
When they first approached me, and knowing like when Colgate came through with this whole idea of this campaign, right? I feel like it was just at the right time, because like I was at my point in my life where I just wanted to share parts of me that people never know. Some people might know, some people don't, but I really want to emphasize on that. So doing the Smile Strong campaign gives me the opportunity, the platform for me to really just be loud and clear to especially to the audience or the people who never listened to me before, and like, hey, so this is my story. And I just love that how we can direct it into like still smiling through it, because like it's been years of me keeping like whatever I've been feeling for a long time, so it just kind of makes more sense, like, hey, I'm still smiling, so like Smile Strong campaign, that's it.
Yeah,
Sure.
so I watched the campaign video.
Oh, yeah.
It was very inspiring.
Thank you.
And the whole message, I think it's to encourage Malaysian and also like to inspire people to face the future with
for sure.
optimism.
Oh, for sure.
So like why did you because I don't know, whenever I wanted to like represent a brand to convey a message, usually like I would feel like in the back of my head I would ask questions about like, am I up for it?
Understand.
Like, do I deserve this?
Oh, yeah.
In my case, so a lot of times when like my manager or my management told me, hey, client chooses you for certain campaigns, and these are the messages you have to convey and help them to like promote. I'm like, there's so many like people out there.
I
like,
understand
better
what
than
you
me.
feel.
Like,
Yeah.
why me instead?
I had that same feeling too. Like when I got selected, I'm like, dang, this is huge. I'm like, am I good enough for this? I mean, you start questioning yourself a lot, but like in the end of the day, I was just like, hey, it was trying to like telling my, I had to retell myself, like gratitude, like, like be grateful. This is opportunity. This is your time. So you just got to do it.
Just
but
have
to
grab
get
it,
there, right? It's
grab
just
it
like,
and do it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
whenever I have all these doubts, so thankfully I have the team who always like support me, always telling me like, you are up for it. Like you are, you are ready. Just like do it. Just be out there and be confident. Just do what
for sure.
what the client and also like the team has already prepped for you. Just go up there and speak up your mind, because a lot of times I think client already knows like what they want from you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like they've gone through like like a lot of lists, like trying to select a few
for sure.
people, and then lastly they chosen you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have done that homework already. So
yeah.
that's no doubt. So maybe you can tell us like also, what does a smile mean to you?
What does a smile means to me?
Yeah.
I think smiling is not just a face that you put up. I mean, it's not just like, hey, yeah, I'm having a bad day. But like, you don't do that, right?
You don't do that, yeah.
But like forcing yourself to smile, I guess it just, to me, some days I just have to force myself to smile, because like there are tough days. So smiling is not just, it's just not just the face value, but it's just more of like between me and a smile means like to push myself out there, to push me out there, because I'm the last person you might, even in pictures, like I'm the last person you might see me smiling. I'm just like in the picture, like, like that
But
the whole
usually
time.
rappers don't smile.
That's the thing.
Like
That's the thing.
like doing the swaggy poses and like with cap with like
Oh
with the
yeah,
sunglasses and stuff.
all these cool points, right? Yeah, I mean, a smile. It's is the thing that keeps me. As cliche as it sounds, it's the thing that keeps me strong. You know what I mean?
Keeps you going.
It keeps me going because even through a bad day, like just having to kind of like
Go through it.
go through it and being able to smile through it is not an easy thing. So it's more like a daily practice too, you know what I mean? To like, hey, whenever it's a bad day or a good day, like you just gotta keep on smiling just to keep your mindset right. To me, like smiles also is not just a face value, but it's also a mindset to be able to like push myself out there. Not faking it though, but more of like pushing myself, you know what
Yes,
I mean?
we are
Yeah.
stronger when we smile.
Oh, for sure, we're strong.
And also,
when
I
we
feel
smile.
like smile, like you just said, like smiling just is just not faking it.
Yeah.
It has to comes from here.
Oh, yeah.
and also here. So when you smile genuinely,
Yeah.
people can feel your vibe.
Oh, for sure.
Like you're bringing like very optimistic energy to people around you, and it's very infectious. You
Yeah.
can also like changes the whole energy in the
Oh,
room
yeah, for
when
sure.
someone is being like snobbish or like someone is being aggressive, angry
Oh, yeah.
or sad.
Oh,
when
yeah.
one of the person like maybe okay in our team in our universal
Yeah.
office, there's always like one clown. Not in a bad way, but then like he or she is always the person who will like cheer up
Okay.
the whole team.
Okay.
Like you do like some silly poses or like do some silly stuff, say some stupid things. Then people would just like, it would just
Okay.
like lighten the whole mood up.
Oh, yeah,
So
for
people
sure.
just like start laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So I
yeah.
feel like smile can be really infectious.
Oh, super, super infectious. I mean, that just brings me back. If you don't mind me sharing a bit of my
Yeah,
backstory,
sure.
because like throughout my whole life, smiling is the hardest thing to do when you had to go through so much pain. You have to endure so much roughness. Let it be family, personal matters, or let it be, between your friends and stuff, right? So, like. For me, a smile is always. I realized this, you know what I mean, when my mom was looking sad or my brother's going through a tough time. Like I would consider myself the clown in the family. I would try my best because being the baby of the family, right?
Oh, you're the youngest
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
the
family?
youngest in the
Oh.
family. We're all boys, and I'm the last one. So everyone's like so tough nut, and you're so like,
Yeah.
like this. I have to say, like there's some sort of toxic masculinity in some way, and like it's and I'm just the goofy one. I just want to make sure that hey, I would pull up some dumb jokes or like I know how much it means to me when I see my mother smile.
Yeah.
So like that's what I know about smiling. It's not just it's something, it's something so powerful to me. So yeah, man. So about the whole clown story, I could relate. It just kind of reminds me of myself.
I have one like really random questions. Like, does your mom always want a daughter?
Oh wow.
Because I have two younger brothers. It's all boys in my family too.
Oh, no.
Because my mom has been telling me I wish I have a daughter and stuff like that. So sometimes I have to be like, the daughter sometimes who listens to her.
Okay.
Because like most of the time my brothers just like don't care.
Are you the eldest in the family?
Yeah, I'm the eldest.
Oof.
Wait. Tell me about your eldest brother. Like, what do you feel about the eldest brothers?
Oh well, I think like the eldest is, they had to toughen up the most. You know what I mean? Because when you have like a bunch of these other siblings, sometimes you just, I mean, talking from personal experience of my own eldest ones. Oh, they can get super annoyed by. So I'm pretty sure you felt the same.
Yes. Because they get too annoyed. Like they just like don't come near me or don't say another word. Just like get out of my room or something and things like that. But we're cool now. Like as we grow older, and then we just kind of like understand each other more.
Yeah.
And also we just shared like what does a smile means to us. So maybe to the audience we have a questions to you as well. Like why don't you just like tell us what does a smile mean to you and just leave your comment in the comment section below. We're gonna read through it and also respond to it. Just want to know like what kind of smile means whatever meaning to you. Yeah. So we are moving forward to like what usually puts a smile on your face.
What usually puts a smile on my
I'll let you go first. I'll have my story to share later.
Ooh,
Too many.
too many things.
Just give me 5.
Just give me the first thing that always puts a smile on my face. I mean, my mom.
Your
I
mom.
think like
Yeah.
she is my biggest like pillar of support, and love, and just seeing her. Sometimes, yes, I can get a bit like, but then most of the time, I'm just like, I'm happy to see her.
Emotional?
Emotional, yeah. So, secondly, it has to be my partner. I think she's the reason
She's
why I'm
the
smiling most of the time nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of. We'll get into that.
We'll
later.
get into that. And thirdly, I think it's my music. I think my music has always been like, the base of like wherever I am today. So that keeps a smile. Yes, it's a love-hate relationship sometimes with my music, but like, hey man, this is the thing that keeps me going. Fourth, I mean, it's always been like my best friends, my family. I think it's so weird for me to like kind of list down 1, 2, 3, 4. I think like they all just kind of equal.
Equally important. Yeah,
but
yeah.
like since you asked me 5, so I'm just gonna put it in the list.
Yeah.
So like my family, my friends, my best friends that I grew up with up until this day, since I was a child until now, like we're still running the game together, so which is pretty cool. And
Still real tight.
Still real tight, which is like I'm grateful for that because it's not easy. And then number 5, what makes me smile?
Food. Maybe I don't know.
Food. It depends.
Depends. You're not a fan of food, like you don't eat
I'm a big foodie. I love food, but then like for me to just say food, I need to be a specific food.
Okay,
A
just
bagel.
Like bagel?
A bagel.
Bagel? I know like a good bagel place. I'm gonna tell
Where?
you. I'm gonna share it to you.
Okay.
So for me, what puts a smile on my face nowadays, I think it's when I see kindness in people.
Oh yeah.
Like the smallest gesture when
Yeah.
somebody trying to hold on to the lift for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you just say like thank you.
Oh yeah.
Or like someone just being polite to the security guard.
Oh yeah.
Like saying
Oh,
thank you
dude.
and nice. I feel like this
Yeah.
is so heartwarming. Like, it just made me smile. No, because nowadays I find like people are very cold because I live in
Oh,
an
for
apartment,
sure.
like a condo, and then the neighbors just don't talk to each other anymore. Like we don't even say hi or good morning and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I feel
And
you on
whenever I
that.
try to do that, people just give me that look like,
Oh,
what do you
I
want
feel-
from me?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what do
yeah.
you want from me? Like, or even like going through like, okay, there's a story that I wanted to share is I remember when I was flying to somewhere in a country, and then the immigration officer, like when you have to like put all your stuff at the custom place.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to like go through the gate, and then the officer was like, "Can you smile? Like you're making me anxious." Because like after a long haul flight, you just feel like tired.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get into trouble. You just want to like.
Yeah.
They said my face, when I don't smile, I look like really angry and aggressive and unfriendly. So like instantly, I was just like, no, I'm just like
Try being on
tired.
a long flight.
Yeah. So like the officer was just like trying to like mess with me or something,
Yeah.
but he was cool. Like what I'm trying to say is like a smile is really important. Even you might be able to change someone's life or like someone's feelings at that moment
Oh yeah,
itself.
for sure. Yeah.
So, but I also don't want to look like a dumb ass smiling to everybody.
oh yeah, for sure.
Like there's like many encounters where, when you're in a public places, like when people are smiling at you,
oh
you're not too sure if they're smiling at you or
Yeah.
smiling at the people around you.
Yeah.
So you don't know like what to react. But nowadays I just like smile because
yeah,
for
for
me
sure.
I have nothing to lose.
That's good. I mean, like, I can relate to you on that. I mean, nowadays, right, when you're being outside, sometimes you don't even look at the person, right?
Yeah.
But like, just because your direction is looking at that, the nicest way for you to do is just like smile back and nod
And nod
back,
your head,
right?
yeah.
And like when people reply back with the same energy, it makes me happy. Because like not a lot of people do that. Sometimes people are just like, "What are you creeping looking at us?" You know what I mean? Like no, I'm just trying to show you a gesture of like kindness, at least respect. Yeah, so definitely 100% with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like when you know you are ready to do something and you know you are capable of doing something, and with like a big smile, you
Yeah.
kind of like boost your confidence.
Oh yeah.
And also like if you have a team or like you have like people who work with you, they will feel like very secured and very comfortable working with you as well.
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, it's very important because I find like Malaysian doesn't really like to smile much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know why, because I travel quite often myself. So whenever I go to a foreign country, for instance, like Thailand or like Indonesia,
Yeah.
I can see people like smiling, even
Oh,
like
right,
you know,
right,
people
yeah,
who are
yeah.
at the hawker center like selling food to you, like smile to you.
Oh yeah.
But here it's just like not so much.
That's so funny.
Which
You
is
brought
why
this
we are
up.
here today, trying to encourage people to smile more.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see like changes after like people watching this episode.
Oh my god! Hopefully, because I just got back from Saudi. So
Mm-hmm.
when I got back from Saudi, when I was in Saudi, everyone was just like smiling, greeting you nicely. Minute I land back in KL, right? Like what's with all this energy?
Yeah, it's a different kind of thing. Like we were trying to like understand like why are people being so cold, but I think it's a culture thing.
I think it's a culture thing. for
Like
sure.
you know, maybe like their parents or like the older generation tell them not to like react too much so that
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
get into trouble.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
when I
yeah,
was a kid, like my mom always tell me like don't talk to strangers or like don't try
Yeah,
to
I
like
think
interact with
that's the
anybody
thing
that
that
doesn't
triggers
know.
it, yeah.
Yeah. So we were kind of like being like all this like messages being imprinted in our mind, telling us not to react to anybody.
Oh, for
if
sure.
somebody's trying to talk to you, just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
ignore them and walk away.
Yeah,
Like that kind of thing. I don't know about you, but my parents used to tell me that like don't talk to strangers, like don't like smile or react to anybody who you don't know.
I mean, I'm the total opposite because like I only got my mom growing up, so she's like, whatever you do, just be nice to people. So like to me, being nice, like giving a smile is being nice. You know what I mean? But yeah, I totally get you though. This is an interesting topic. I agree with you. I think it's just the way that we were raised up. You know what I mean? Our culture here is very like, wouldn't say cold, but very reserved.
Yeah, reserved.
Yeah.
That's the word, right?
So I think Malaysia needs to be more open about it. You know, like everyone here is, it feels too like reserved and oppressed. Like, okay, if you get into someone's space, that would mean invading their space.
Yeah.
You know, even sometimes asking a simple question. Yeah. So like. Yeah, man.
I get you.
I
can
get you.
relate to
Like
you.
that's crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what we both believe, so
Yeah.
I guess we're on the same page now.
for
So
sure.
smiles are more powerful than any of us could think of. Like
most
it's a symbol of optimism and inner strength, especially during challenging moments, which I think we both, like anyone in the world would
Yeah.
have like challenging moments during
Yeah.
their upbringing or even like in the current situation. And also you have a very inspiring backstory for someone who went through like a lot,
Yeah.
I assume. And also like you are very successful at where you are right now. So we just want to like interview you for a little bit
Yeah,
so that you know your
Thank you for
story
putting that out.
your story can like inspire
Yeah.
like people out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So like growing up, like you mentioned before, like you had a really tough
Yeah.
period of time. Like
Yeah.
you face a lot of stereotypes, prejudices and biases. Like how
yeah.
did you fight these stereotypes, prejudices and
Wow.
well, I think you were being called names.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, how
Million
did you
times
deal with
up
it?
until this day? Yeah.
Up until this day.
Up until this day.
Come on, Malaysian people, you can do better.
I think it takes years of it takes years of building that courage. It takes years of building that confidence. Even I have to be honest. I don't feel confident every day. I'm not a robot. You know.
We're not God, we're just human.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So like for me to build that, it took a while for me to understand it. It's a lot to do with setting your mindset right. You know what I mean? Like lately these days I wouldn't say retreating, but more muting, just for the sake of my own energy. You know what I mean? Like choosing the right energy, like
Choosing what to hear,
choosing
what to take in.
and putting, trying to, put and seeing life in different perspectives. You know what I mean? Instead of me being mad about people saying like, oh, why blah, 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 calling me names, I try to understand them. Like, why are you calling me names?
Yeah.
Like, what makes you want to say that? So what makes you... I start to question a lot. Instead of questioning myself, I question people. Why are you acting a certain way that, help me understand you. So then, like, I can just like, oh, okay. I mean, if you do hate me so much, like, I appreciate that. Not everyone's gonna like everybody, but I'm going a bit here and there. But like, yeah, I'm just trying to see like, see things in different perspective, different light. So that kind of like now that helps me a lot. Instead of just like focusing, putting myself all the way into this negative energy, I want to make sure that I understand where I'm at, knowing where I'm stepping. You know what I mean? Playing it like
a chess game.
like a chess game. So because if I step in here, I know that's gonna damage me.
Yeah.
Why should I step in there? You know what I mean? So like that is years of working, with yourself, within yourself, and it's not an easy thing to answer because like it's a whole process to get here.
I'm sure
So,
it is.
yeah.
So my part, I think I was being called names as well as when I was a kid, because back then when I was in primary school, I don't know why, like most of my good friends were females. And then like the boys, like the gang doesn't really like me.
Jealousy.
And because I generally I'm a very caring person, and also like I was just being myself, and I was very quiet.
Yeah.
I don't express much, and I'm not a sporty person.
Okay.
Because like when I was a kid, I don't like going into like the sukan subjects. When we play sports in the morning, and then we have to get into classes.
Yeah.
And then with like all the sweat and stuff and smell, so I don't really move much. So even during the session itself, like I'm just like there to play like maybe a little bit, but then I'll just stop and stuff like that. And because for me, hygiene is a very important thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I don't want to study when I'm not comfortable.
I understand.
And then I was being called names like.
They
So,
probably see you like bougie too for not doing sports, huh?
yeah. So like they were like trying to tease me with things like, oh, are you gonna wear dresses now and stuff like that? So like you don't hang out with the boys and stuff like that. I don't choose to like go to my girlfriends. They come to me themselves. So I would prefer just like eat my lunch myself and stuff like that. And back then I didn't know how to say no to people.
Yeah.
So when people are trying to, of course, like in the back of my head, I say like, okay, tomorrow not gonna sit with them. When they come to me, I'll just like walk away.
Yeah.
But back then, I didn't know how. I was just like feeling very scared, and then to offend people. So at least for me, at least there are some group of friends were being nice to me.
Okay, that's good.
So like I totally can relate a little bit, maybe like 0.5% to whatever you just said. So you mentioned earlier that you face some pain, and some struggles in your life. Like, can you maybe elaborate a little bit more? Like, when did you find out you were different than other people?
Oh wow. Where do I start? This is there's a lot to share if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
We have all the time in the world.
So for me, it's not just this. It's not just about being called names or bullied in a way, but like I didn't grow up in a happy home. You know, every part of the family was a broken soul.
Yeah.
And my dad wasn't really there when I was growing up. He was sometimes here, sometimes there, but most of the time he was just there. He was pretty abusive too.
Oh.
So like to me, it's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? Growing up when you don't see any of that, when you see you getting your mom beaten, you can see your sometimes your sibling argue over some things. It hurts you. You know what I mean?
And you were the youngest, so you didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and like I had to face all of that up to the point where between me and my dad too, it was just a lot of this. You know what I mean? A lot of like I always, even my mom said, said to the family sometimes, like I live out of everyone in the family is the only one that knows how to bawa diri. So basically like pulling myself apart, pulling myself away, because I don't like being in confrontational times or those things makes me anxious. So imagine growing up, Imagine growing up having to deal with your dad up to the point where you can remember when it was, during my teenage days, even when I was a kid, when I was in primary, having a katana down your neck, bro, from your own dad, what would you feel?
Wow.
So instead of just being bullied, I had to deal with these things at home.
Yeah.
And life wasn't easy, broken home, had to move up multiple places. Brothers are arguing about finances.
Yeah.
So to me, what's to smile through it is it's
really tough.
It's really tough. But
really
I try my best to make sure that my mom is smiling by my goofiness about it. And even back in school, I can relate to being called names and everything, but it wasn't as painful as seeing your own
what was happening in the
at
family.
home.
Yeah.
So like imagine coming back home, you don't know what happiness is like.
You don't feel like it's at home.
You don't feel like it's
a
at home.
safe space.
I don't
Like sometimes you
feel
just feel
safe.
like you don't even want to go home.
Yeah.
Like just too much to deal with.
Yeah, and then you go to school, you get more stuff. So you're like, where should I go? But out of every darkness, there's always light. You know what I mean? So to me, I try to find the light in different ways. Being
The
like
smallest things.
yeah, like I try to. Yes, growing up, I had trouble making friends. Though I do only remember a few times when we moved to the condo, my mom was like, I told my mom, okay, I was 5, okay, I'm gonna go down. I'm like, hey, gonna go to the pool because we live in a condo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play with my friends. And my mom's like, oh, you got friends? And I started crying because I realized I have none. So like, yeah, that's when I think I've always known that I'm different since I was a kid, but I didn't care as much. Maybe
Yeah.
I did, but I just like, oh, whatever, because I got my family, right?
Yeah.
But then teenage time is the time when you're starting to realize everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see your friends being in relationships, see your friends being this group, that group. You feel outcast. You feel like an outcast.
Yeah,
You're like, you don't belong to any group. So like, I'm thankfully enough had the same, like I was telling you earlier, the same group of friends that I grew up with up until this day. So I keep my circle really small because when I first met them and when I first started making friends with them, they never cared. Yeah. And even sometimes I roast myself about me, right? They're like, please don't do that. That's
Yeah.
not nice. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm giving you a pass to laugh, bro. Why are you laughing? Like, I'm not going to laugh at you for that.
I mean, if I'm your friend, I wouldn't want you to put yourself to it. Like that's. I mean,
Yeah.
like you should. I mean, like everyone is equal. Like I
Yeah.
believe everyone is equal.
Oh, for sure.
Like, but then we gotta live through it. Like it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Nothing we can do to change any of that.
Nah.
But how do we like motivate ourselves to move
yeah.
forward? It's just like by getting through it with like the right circle of friends or the right support that you have right now, or even like from your mom, from your siblings, from people from work.
Oh, yeah.
Or the family that you choose.
Yeah.
Like when you grow up, like for
yeah.
instance, your friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your friends are literally your family.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
one of your family right
Yeah.
now. So it's really important to like live through it. Like don't dwell into something that you cannot change.
Oh, for sure.
Like when you cannot change something, walk away from it
Oh, yeah.
and find something better.
Oh, for
and build something better for yourself.
Oh, yeah. I
think
agree
that's
with you
very
on that.
important.
I think like nowadays, I thought also like I kind of grew up to, instead of keeping myself quiet, I've become more straightforward.
Yeah.
In terms of my family, we're just like, hey, nothing right. If there's nothing right, you just gotta let me know. Or even with my mom, she's like, hey, mom, I know you're not feeling this way. You gotta let me know so we can fix these things up. I don't like to just like keep myself hidden anymore.
Yeah.
I've reached to a point in my life where I feel like, hey, if there's something that's not right, y'all gotta let me know too. You know what I mean? Because to carry, they don't mean to put that weight on you, or I don't mean to put my weight on them.
Yeah.
But like, I guess, dude, it's a learning curve for everyone. So I'm happy to be able to do this nowadays. So just to be more straightforward with things. I don't hide my feelings anymore.
Okay, when did you have that thought that you want to be more straightforward? Like, is there any like incidents that
When I moved to Penang, yeah.
when you moved to Penang?
Because I realized that being the youngest in the family, being the baby of the family, you are always taken care of. I
Yeah.
have to be honest.
yes, you are.
And for me, it's like, it's not that I don't appreciate it, I appreciate it. But, there are days when you're the elder ones would be tell like you don't know how to take care of yourself. You don't know how to do that. So I'm like, okay, I'll pull myself away.
Yeah.
And my mom told my mom straight up before I moved. I'm like, hey mom, I need my own space and time. I'll come back, be a better man, and become a man to the family. So
You wanted to like put some weight for the family as well now.
because like I hate the tension happening in the family. Sometimes it's just like, and for me, I just don't like being seen as like the just the manju one when I know so well that I put so much time and effort and hard work into whatever I do. But even until this day, some people just don't see this thing as a career. You know what I mean? So like, I had to pull myself away. I come back from Penang, and I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot about myself there because I had my own space and time, so I don't have to worry about other people. I came back. Hopefully now I'm a better man to my mother. Because nowadays I just like, hey, it's not that I'm being rude. I'm just being more firm with things. You know what I mean? So like, hey, gotta tell me something. So like,
yeah. For me, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't like working with somebody, or like if I don't like how you say things in some kind of like tone that I don't like it, I'll just tell you straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not in front of everybody.
Yeah,
But then I would love you to know.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that you know I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
And because for me nowadays, like I don't want to like guess like if you like me or not, or if you like working with me or not.
Yeah.
I stopped like pulling fake expressions and faces in front of
Oh
everybody.
yeah, for sure.
Even like in front of our partners or like even with clients itself, if I don't like it, I'll just say it because it's just the way it is. Like and see if we can find like a middle ground for us to work together.
Yeah.
Even with like producers, like I mentioned earlier, like I don't like these producers because I just don't like the way how he say things. Like if he cannot change that, or if I cannot like find a middle ground between me and him, then there's no way I can work with him again. Then just don't. I won't talk bad about him. Just that I choose not to work with him.
Oh yeah.
Because we are not aligned. We are not on the same page, and that's about it.
That's just you redirecting your energy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You just have to like protect yourself and also like protect him from
Yeah.
me. I don't want to like accidentally say some things that I didn't mean
for
to,
sure,
or when I'm
man.
angry or something, right? So let's get into interesting part.
Okay.
How is your dating life?
Dating life.
I mean, like, I'm interested to know, like, when or how, because you mentioned earlier, like, you don't know if when you see your friends we're dating, you feel like maybe this is not for me, and things like that. So how did you overcome this, or like, what was your worst experience, or the good ones?
Yeah, I decided to become a rapper. No, just joking. That's a lot of bragging over there. I'm just playing. No. I think like every human being wants to feel
Loved.
being loved. You know what I mean? And I was wow. So how was it? How did I overcome that? Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to.
Okay, how did you know you're ready to have someone in your life?
Okay, you make it a lot easier for me. So thank you.
Straightforward.
I think it was just a point of like, you can't control your emotions, you can't control your feelings sometimes towards someone. You know what I mean? Don't take it the wrong way. I mean, in a loving, caring, or
That's
romantic
a
way.
Human being, that's very humane.
So like to me, it had to be a lot of like courage to face someone to say like, yeah, I like you. And to me, it wasn't easy because thinking about dating life, you always starting to compare whether you starting to question yourself a lot, whether you're good enough, do I look good enough, do I feel, all of that thing, right? But to me, at that point in my life, you know what? I really, really like you. I just want to get to know you better. So like, turns out, lucky enough, thank God, that person likes me a lot too. So I'm like, okay, we're good. And somewhat we were in 2.5 years of a relationship now, so which is great. And best thing about it, we learned a lot about communication. Not to put any bad things. I mean, I used to be in like relationships, not just a relationship. I used to be in relationships where it was quite tough, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in a relationship before, it was quite mentally abusive, you know? Like, it was names after names, and like, I don't.
So your ex partners call
Yeah.
you names?
Yeah. So,
Like,
Yeah.
okay, tell me their names afterwards. I'm gonna write them.
oh man. But like, you know, feeling betrayed, and I've been there. I know
Yeah.
how much
Heartbroken and
heartbroken
how
I
much
was.
pain.
So, I mean, the reason I had to share this too, because we're talking about smiling through it,
Yeah.
right? So, like, yeah, man, it wasn't easy. I learned a lot. You know, I don't see it as something, you know, just something bad. You know, I wanted to see something good.
It's an
in that.
experience.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah.
So now in the current relationship that I'm in, whew, it's beautiful, because I've learned, like, okay, this is the things that we don't want to be in. You know, like, we learn how to communicate, like, as simple as, you know, instead of asking, like, what do you want to eat? Now I know, like, okay, we got 3 places to go. We got this, sushi, we got pizza, we want to go eat and rice. That helped a lot. You know, she's like, wow, okay, this is good. I'm like, okay, great. Because we, you know, basically, you know, we take turns to be more, how do I say this word?
You guys somehow like learn to live with each other's needs.
Yeah.
Because I believe, like, you know, dating isn't about like finding the right person or like
Yeah.
the perfect person.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's more about like how you cope with each other,
Cope with each other.
especially in terms of energies and also like the vibe and also the needs.
Yeah, and accepting each other's flaws.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
So,
That's for sure.
to me, it was just like, I think it was just God's given gift, you know what I mean? Just like somewhat our worlds aligned together.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So for me to answer, how did I overcome it? I could never answer that, because I don't know if I've overcome that. You know, we just happened to be in love.
That is one.
Yeah.
Another thing is because I feel like, you know, throughout your past relationships,
Yeah.
you kind of know like what kind of person you're looking
Oh,
for.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And also it kind of like we said, it's an experience.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
also like you kind of know like what are the bottom lines that you can accept.
Mm-hmm.
And also now I feel like you know how to defend yourself more, and also you're more verbal now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know how to like, express and let your partner know like what you don't like and what you like and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because for me, the same thing. I have like a few relationships that I don't know how did I get into it, and I was a third wheel for the longest time without me knowing it.
Oh, wow.
So like you know, like all these experiences, they were beautiful. I mean, parts of them were beautiful, but then like when you look back at it, it's just make me realize that I've grown so much as a person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And also like how proud I am right now, like towards myself
Yeah.
in this current situation. I've
yeah.
grown so much. I learned so much.
Yeah.
Like I know what I wanted anymore. I don't simply like go and date anybody that like me or I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them.
for sure.
So there are a lot of measures that
Oh,
I
there are
have
a
to
lot
look
of
into.
measures, for sure.
So yeah, it's for the best. I'm happy that you found the
Oh,
one.
yeah, for
And,
sure, man. Thank you.
So have you ever written any songs about her?
Plenty.
Plenty of
Plenty,
them.
but it's never been on. Yeah, it was just before, like, for me to sometimes, like, hey, to pujo her, right? Like, hey, wrote you a song. She's like, oh, wow, it's very sweet of you. I'm still mad at you, though.
So that didn't work out.
That didn't
Being
work.
a rapper doesn't make you points.
Nah,
Doesn't
being
earn
a
you
rapper, rapper is just being a rapper. I ain't that.
Okay, so we've like you know covered some of like you know the sweet stuff and stuff like that. So whenever you feel down, is there a person that you go to?
Honestly, I've only learned that last few years back in 2019. I've only learned that around that time. I reached out to I finally got to talk to my mom and my eldest brother about what I'm feeling. My eldest brother is always the listener. You know, he's also a Scorpio, so maybe that's why.
Also a Scorpio.
the reason why I brought it back to 2019 because I was at a point in my life where I felt everything was super, super hard, super, super tough. I was at my lowest of my lowest. I almost ended my life. That
Okay.
time. I woke up in a hospital, body full of pills. So seeing my mom by my side when I woke up, I felt little again. I felt small again.
Yeah.
And ever since then, my mom has always been the first one. You know what I mean? And then now my eldest brother, I'm happy that I'm able to talk to
him.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my best friends because they were there when I was going through it. So now those are the people. I mean, now with my partner too. But I try to make sure everything's balanced. I don't want to end up sounding needy all the time or like wanting to have that attention. But yeah, those are the people that I look for. Yeah.
You know what? That's something I want to share with you because I used to be like feel like I'm tough enough, and also feel like whatever that I'm facing or whatever I'm feeling right now is just like I'm the only one be able to make any changes to it. So I refuse to share my thoughts with anybody,
Understand.
including my closest friends,
Yeah.
or even my family.
Yeah.
But then nowadays, I feel like we all needed an outlet to
for
just
sure.
let it out. Like sometimes we don't need any advices from anybody.
Yeah.
We just want someone to be there and listen to you.
Oh, yeah,
and you
for
like just to rant about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's all we need actually.
Yeah.
So, like referring to the incident that you had
Yeah.
back in 2019.
Yeah.
I have countless thoughts about it
Understand.
before when I was much younger.
Understand.
I'm also from a broken family.
Yeah.
But then nowadays, like I know, like ending things that
Doesn't
way,
really end.
it's gonna cause more pain
Oh, for sure.
to the people around you, to those who cares about you, who believes in you, who helped you. And I don't want to be one of the person that caused them that because they were and are my supports, and
Understand.
they care more about me than themselves sometimes.
For sure.
So like all these little things that makes me stronger.
Yeah.
And also I want to do better, not just because of me,
Yeah.
and also because of them.
Understand.
And that keeps me going.
Yep.
And also like by looking at faces just make me happy.
Oh,
Because they're there
I
for you.
understand you. That's,
And like making them happy becomes one of my priority right now. So seeing them smile
yeah.
makes me happy now. So I think that keeps me going like really hard. That's why like even like you said, like this career doesn't seem like a career to anybody.
Yeah, for
To
sure.
somebody. So but we gotta do what we love, like we wanted to sing, we wanted to rap because there's a message behind it.
sure.
And also we have the story that we want to share with the audience, including like what we're doing right now, like conveying like smiling is very infectious.
Yeah.
And being negative is not one of them. It doesn't get you going anywhere.
Yeah.
So try to be more positive and also try to smile more Malaysia because
Yeah.
I feel like it just gives so much positivity to people around you. Yeah.
Though I got a question for you though. I mean, how do you nowadays, right? I mean, hearing your history of it. I mean, not gonna lie, there are days still up until this day where I feel like ending it, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking,
Of course.
there must be days I feel like it's I wouldn't say normal, but like there are days when you are at your lowest, right?
Yep. Rock
How do
bottom.
you deal with it nowadays?
For me, I just completely shut everything off. And because I know at the point of time, if I dwell too much into it, it's not gonna do me any good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only way for me to like get better is to actually divert myself to do something else that's like completely different.
Yeah.
Or like can make me forget that I have this kind of problems. So one of the ways I do is I travel
Wow.
by myself.
Okay.
Sometimes I just like look into flights, like cheap flights, to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care. So like choose to go someplace that you've never been or you have been, whatever, by yourself.
Yeah.
And then one of the ways is actually to stay in a backpackers hotel.
that's
hostels.
nice. Yeah.
Hostels where you get to meet
Everyone.
everyone who doesn't care who you are,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't know a single thing about you,
yeah.
and you can just be completely yourself.
Uh-huh.
And at that point of time, I don't respond to any work messages, or even like my WhatsApp. It's just like
Just thousands of messages.
the notifications is just like being switched off,
Okay.
so that you don't have to like even deal with it.
Oh yeah. Been there.
And that's how I recharge. So after when I'm mentally stable, or like I feel like I'm ready to face the world
Yeah.
again, then I would list down one by one what kind of things I need to solve 1st. Like I have a list,
Okay.
the most important one, and then I'll solve one by one. If I don't solve the first one, I won't think of the second one.
I need to do that.
So that's how you get back up. Because if you don't help yourself,
Oh yeah.
no one else would. So like that's how I deal with it, because you can't be happy 24/7.
Oh, for sure.
There are ups and downs in our lives,
that's-
and you just got to learn like how to deal with it, how to be positive about it, how to be optimistic about it, and yeah, you have to find your way. Like travel is my thing. It might not be your thing.
I love traveling.
Oh, cool. Maybe you can try to use my way.
I'll take that advice. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do more.
So I share my part on like how I deal with stress and when I hit rock bottom. So what about you?
I think what I learned, how to deal with or cope with stress, right? Baby steps. Learning, you need to identify what you're feeling. I think that's, for me, the biggest, strongest point. And the steps of positivity. Because when you don't identify, you won't know how to keep your direction, right? So like identifying where you're at that point of your life or whatever you're feeling at that moment, sit with it. You know what I mean? Sit with it. Take your own time, take a breather. And that's why I want to lead into like having your own space and time. You need to, I'm not telling y'all to move to Penang, but
I'm from Penang, by the way.
but I'm telling y'all to find your own space and time. It doesn't have to be, maybe just sit in your room, like it, tell your family. Like, I know there are some, coming from a broken family, it's a bad idea, but like, find your own space and time. And that's where you know about yourself a lot more. And that quiet space where you can ask a lot of these questions. And to me, thirdly, it's just to build that inner strength. I think just redirecting your energy and also keeping that mindset always on, like, wouldn't say 100% all the time. Start slowly. Today you give a 20% to your mindset, and then these voices in your head just gonna keep on coming to you, right? So like today 20%, next day try 40%. Cannot 40%, 35. Bring it down a little bit. You need to be vulnerable enough with yourself to just be able to like, okay, I feel there's some sort of way today, so I'm gonna just put 25%. And then when you feel like today can be a good day, 100% to it or 80% to it, because not every day is a perfect day.
Yeah.
Not every day is a perfect time. So just setting yourself into this space and time where you can actually be that person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So you talk about like inner strength, like,
Yeah.
but what kind of thing would spike your inner strength for you to like be optimistic and also to face the world with a strong smile?
Yeah.
Like what did you like? What was the thing that will really heighten everything up?
I think what really heightened everything for my inner strength, I found an outlet was through music.
Yeah.
So music gave me a opportunity for me to direct those energy, direct those inner strength into whatever I'm creating, because I am a creative.
Yep.
So I use that ability to be able to express whatever I do. So that helps me a lot. I mean, to those out there, find that outlet that, the things that you love doing. Or maybe you don't realize that you love doing it. Then one day when you do, spend time on it. You know what I mean? That can be your core strength. Like for me, years of making music makes me happier than everything else.
The
man.
happiest person.
Happiest
You know
person.
what? I feel the same.
Yeah.
Like because back then, like for the longest time, I was only singing other people's demo. Like I always feel like there are parts of me that are missing. Like,
Yeah.
Because that wasn't my story to tell.
Yeah.
like I was saying in other people's story. Yeah, maybe I can find something like relevant to my own story, but it's not like it's not complete. And yeah, so I totally can relate to you and to people who are watching out there. Writing music is just our way.
Yeah.
And you should find your own way. Like some people find their inner strength, inner peace through fishing.
Yeah.
Or maybe through like reading a book or going to a museum or like, do nothing.
Do nothing.
Or just
Interestingly
like taking
enough.
naps. I don't know.
That
know.
makes me a lot happy. so happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta find your own way, and also don't forget to like share with us how do you overcome your struggles. Maybe your story can inspire someone else reading your comments. So feel free to leave your stories in the comments down below. We will be reading it as well. And so lastly, I just want to remind you all, a smile is really infectious.
Oh, for sure.
And it can change your world. It can change the people around you as long as you smile from here and here. Always remember to set your mind right because that's also very important. Both of us believe that.
Yeah.
A reminder to you that always smile strong and we are stronger when we smile.
For sure.
So is there any message that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah.
And also being the face of this campaign, Smile Strong, share with the audience.
Sure. I want to add into what Alvin said, like, don't be afraid to tell your stories. Don't be afraid to reach out when you need to. Don't be afraid to be loud about it, be vocal about it, because keeping it to yourself sometime, it can be
Too much.
too much. So we're together with Colgate. I want to share you guys that it's stronger. We're stronger when we smile because that would change every moment, every parts of your life if you learn how to smile through everything else in this world, man. That's very important. So keep that positive energy going on. And here with me, Airliftz, I'm sharing my positive energy. I'm sharing you my smile. So I will let y'all to do the same. Peace.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Alice, for joining us today.
Thank you, man.
And
Appreciate it.
thank you guys for watching and listening to the podcast. Don't forget, we are uploading a new episode every Wednesday at 9 p.m. And remember, we are stronger when we smile. So smile strong, guys. See you next time.
They told me I was a mistake. It's been this way my whole life. Nobody gave me a chance. But then I realized we're stronger when we smile.
Running through my